everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. You're welcome to the AI for HR Summit. My name is Oluwakemi Akinola Adedeji, Kemi for short, and I am delighted to be your moderator for this panel discussion. Our topic today is performance management with AI-driven talent, intelligence, and analytics, unleashing the power of data for HR excellence. We all know that AI is the new oil, as people would like to take, would like to put it. There's the AI buzz everywhere, right from the inception of from the launch of ChatGPT, everyone has been really going, all out, about AI. But today we're going to be focusing on how we can use this. We can use this, to influence data and how this can also influence, operational excellence in HR. So basically, our panelists today will shed light on revolutionizing performance reviews, leveraging predictive analysis, ensuring ethical use of AI, personalization, democratizing decision making, and much more. So today I have Levy here with me and Burak. I'll have them introduce themselves very quickly before we get into the questions. Hi, Levy. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. I'm Levi Barbosa. I currently work at Nobank in the talent operations teams. I
Okay,
also have a very broad experience. I think I've been working in HR over 15 years now. Uh,
great.
Different companies, like Microsoft, WeWork, now Nobank.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi, Burak. How you doing?
Hello there. Good.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. So my name is Burak. Very shortly, I'm working in a telecom operator called Telia in the Nordics, Europe Nordics. We're in 6 countries, and I'm heading our products and service like technology branch of it. And I have a past of Hey Group consultancy and Ericsson, like regional roles and talent management roles. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm also very happy to hear from you, from the WeWork, from the Microsoft days. Let's see where the
Ooh,
conversation takes us.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. You're welcome once again, Levi and Barack. My name is Kemi once again. For those who do not know me, I am your moderator for today and I work with ULesson. I lead people operations at ULesson. And but for today, I'm going to be taking you through data, HR, and operational excellence. So, very quickly, the first question I want to ask here is, and I would like to direct this to Barack. In an age where data is often hailed as the new oil, I come from Nigeria. I am currently in Nigeria, and we're very rich in oil. But we'll say, oh, data right now is the new oil, meaning there's an abundance of data. What are the ways in which HR can tap into this wealth of data to revolutionize performance management? How do you think performance management can, improve, right, with the burst of data everywhere?
Well, I think the whole transformation of using data in HR has started with the HR analytics wave, right? I think it goes probably 5, 7 years back, but now it's pretty advanced. But when we
Yeah.
talk about AI, and especially when we talk about generative AI and LLMs,
Uh-huh.
large language models being in our world, I think it will be a lot more about the data. How do we use data? Because usage of data is another topic, but then the AI will be almost. Let me just use the Microsoft analogy. There will be a co-pilot for our employees and our leaders during this process of performance management, talent management, basically in everything. But then
Uh-huh.
talking about very specifically in performance management, it will be a co-pilot, a good coach, a good tutor to the leaders and the employees. Obviously, it's going to harness all of the data that is available, and that will be the power of AI. That it will be connected to, this will sound a little bit scary, but it will be connected to all the transcript of our meetings, all of
Uh-huh.
the emails. It will be connected to all of the performance or project management tools like Jira. It will have access to all of the data. So that's the whole of data consolidated by a decent generative AI model will be a coach, a co-pilot for us. And we can talk about this in further detail. So it's a lot more about utilizing the data. It's more about like the whole knowledge management and then the coaching, the co-piloting aspect of AI that is very, very significant and exciting.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Barack. Levi, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, totally. I think what you mentioned is really interesting because I was thinking on today what we can do with this data, right? Like a lot of companies, what we do is try to gather data from different sources, run that, and then analyze that manually. No, like
Yeah.
literally, we read things, we think, we discuss with other people, and then we get into a conclusion. And sometimes when we do the actual performance, we are wrong because we are humans. No, we are doing this in a really human way. With these new tools, I think the future, no, we are thinking in 15, 20 years ahead, well, we can gather all the sources together with a machine, and then this machine can provide us what is like the ideal thing of augmented analytics. Now, augmented analytics, it's this form of analysis where a machine is providing you all the insights that a human is supposed to provide, no? But in this sense, it will be really interesting to get all the insights in hand, and then with this copilot, like what I mentioned, you would be able to provide this with the people, no? Like really fast. I don't think real
Because it's
time
really
quickly,
accurate.
but exactly. But it will be more accurate, more objective, less bias.
Less bias. Great. Now you both have mentioned very very important points, but now that leads me to my next question, and what I'm thinking now is imagine a world where predictive analysis can foretell an employee's performance trajectory. How do you think this will change the role for HR? Now, HR is not. No one is saying, "Oh, I'm a performance management specialist," or "I'm an appraisal manager," and all of that. We now have, predictive analysis that can tell that this employee is going to do well or this employee is not going to do well. How do you think this changes, the roles within HR? And how do you think we can then turn the traditional performance review into a dynamic real-time process? Do you want to take that, Levy?
Yeah. I think we are a bit far from that yet. There, I,
Well, I'm not going to say we're a bit far from that because already, and I'll give you a
Mhm,
reason why I would say
mhm.
that. So there's already personalized learning in education
Mm,
where AI can we can incorporate AI into the work that we do. For instance, AIU lesson, and AI can tell a child that because you've chosen to read this book, I believe that this book is going to work well for you. You're going to actually love this other book. We've also seen that in e-commerce, where on Amazon, suggests the product for you to buy, and you're sure you're going to like that product because it has studied what you like, it has studied your interest, and it can tell that you're going to like this book. So I don't think we're very far off, from this era where AI can tell you that this employee in the next 2 to 3 years would actually come out tops based on a number of metrics. So how do you think that's going to play out for the HR for the HR industry?
Yes, no, I think in that sense, yes, we are really close, and most of the marketing strategies are now being used in HR also, no? And I think in talent acquisition, when we are seeing the funnels and the ways we work in there, it's pretty close. But what I think right now, people is starting as a base for that is people is being more strategic,
Uh-huh.
people is being more proactive,
Yeah.
well, in HR, right? people is more data driven. Even we don't have that much data fluency or data literacy, but people is starting to know. No, we need to know more about data because this is the future, and also being more collaborative. I think not only with HR but other functions, no, around the
Absolutely.
business,
Mhm.
because that is the foundation. I think for this.
Great. So
Mhm.
you have rightly pointed that it's not going to replace us. It's just going to make us more efficient and more effective. Barak, do you have anything to say to this? How do you think it's going to change the landscape within the HR industry? How do you think? And first, do you even think it's possible that we're going to have AI, predict an employee's performance ahead of the future to say this employee, you can be sure that in another 2 to 3 years, this employee will be ready for leadership, and this one can as well just go right now. Do you think we're
Mm.
ever going do you think we're ever going to get to that stage in AI?
That and more, and I don't think it's very far away. I think we're talking about the next two to
Absolutely.
three years.
Mm-hmm.
But let me clear out a few things around the core definition. So if when we talk about performance management, people pretty much focus on the appraisal or evaluation piece. So like meets expectations, successful, whatever that is.
Yes.
But performance management has two more layers. Like the appraisal and the evaluation is one piece, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also then coupled with the potential, like the things that you're saying, like what's the future trajectory of that person, the career planning of
Yes.
that person. The third layer is the individual development. So how should we develop this person to achieve those aspirations or that potential? So I think the AI will be very functional for us to be fact based on and unbiased in appraisal arm, as Levy mentioned a few minutes ago. Full on, yes. What I think is more than the prediction of if this person going to be a leader or an amazing individual contributor, it will know from all of our behaviors, it will know what are the elements that will make us successful. And that's where the coaching and the tutor factor of AI comes in. Then you're going to have almost like a mentor that knows you, has been in all of your meetings, know your behaviors, and then one, it suggests to your leader saying that, hey, this person really, really works well with democratic leadership style. So this person will work amazing with these two leaders. Also, this person works well hybrid, 3 4 days at home. This person also works well with this 8 generations. So this will be the guidance to the leader and to the employee as well. Why don't you aim for these jobs? Why don't you aim for these kind of meetings and then these kind of collaborations? You do really well. So with those kind of guidances to the leader and the employee himself or herself, the AI will be an amazing enabler as a mentor and coach that everybody has access to. So that's the power of AI that will make everyone reach their potentials, make everyone much more creative, much more knowledgeable, and all of that. That's for me the power of it. That's going to be hopefully available in the next 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely. In fact, you've actually answered, my next question, because you have rightly pointed that AI is going to be an amazing enabler to help people reach their potentials. It's not in any way going to replace, the human interaction. And of course, because AI is often seen as a tool for automation. So, as leaders in HR, how can we ensure that it is used as a vehicle for humanization, particularly in the realm of performance management? Barack already spoke to the fact that beyond appraisal and evaluation, which AI will be very, very useful for, because I mean it's built to automate these things. The humanistic aspect of determining the employee's potential trajectory, or the employee's individual development, would now be very heavily dependent on the person's manager or report. So, as HR leaders, how can we ensure that it is used as a vehicle for humanization, particularly in the realm of performance management? Do you want to take that, Levy?
Yes, yes. I've been thinking a lot on that question because I see young people now trying to get their first job and idealizing a lot of things now with all the things that we see now in the TV or other sources. Uh, what I think is that we'll have, I think, a lot of support from these tools to get um, more information. I think this gets me back to this DIKW pyramid, and this is something really interesting, where we have a lot of data, then we transform that into information, knowledge, and wisdom. And I think with that, a lot of people get stuck in the information because they really don't know the process of how to convert that into knowledge, right? And then wisdom. So I think with that, it's really complex, the human part of this. I see that this, and I think again in the young people, no, like young people have so much data and information, but they really don't convert that into knowledge, neither wisdom. And it's so difficult that they have everything, on hand. Like they literally have everything, and new generations, I think they have to learn a lot about education. Like that doesn't stop when you finish school. Like that goes forever. Like literally, that goes forever. And with these new tools, that will be something that you will have at hand, like more and more, like real time, like we mentioned.
Great. Thank you so much, Libby. Thank you so much. So, because Barack already commented on that, I'm going to be asking him another question. And first, how can we ensure that HR leaders become more data fluent so that they can fully harness the power of AI? And personally, I'm concerned about the privacy concerns, when it comes to the use of AI. How can we also address these issues while capitalizing on the benefits of AI driven analytics in performance management? So it's like a two-in-one question, Barack. First, how can leaders in HR become more data fluent? We've seen that beyond automation, beyond just the appraisal and the evaluation, there's the part of knowing the employee's trajectory. There's the part of carving out an a personalized individual development plan for the employee. And of course, for an HR leader to do this, he or she has to be very data fluent. So how can HR leaders become more data fluent, and how can we also address the data privacy concerns, in the use of AI?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the second one, the privacy is a deeper conversation that we all need to be very conscious about. I can come to that in a minute. But then my idea with AI is that it will require less data fluency from HR leaders going forward. Now, right now, what we need from the HR leaders is a very heavy understanding of an HR or any kind of analytics, because there are HR analytics people, data scientists that do the work, and then there are platforms like Vizier, or you name it, the HR analytics platforms that will throw out a lot of charts, data, percentages at you, like pie charts or like kind of correlations of data and statistical models, right? What will AI provide is a language level in between that you can actually talk almost to human. Because if you experience the chat GPT, especially the 4, you just talk to that large language model, and then the future of an HR leader will be like, hey, can you please tell me the correlation between retention and leadership? And it's going to tell a lot of things, and then when there are too many percentages, and then the HR leader will be saying that, hey, can you tell me more about that 25%? I just didn't understand what the correlation to the leadership was. That, and then it's going to explain a lot more. So I think the HR leader's job will be a lot easier going forward, because it's going to be a layer of translation in between the data and also the understanding. So it's going to be a lot more language and prompting. So we need to
Yeah.
have our HR leaders to ask the right questions. It's almost like right prompts
So that you can get
rather than
outcomes. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Privacy is privacy is a must, but then it's so many layers. Like, what are you going to do about the training data, the propriety about that, the privacy? It's going to access all your emails and all your meeting transcripts. What are you going to do about this? So this has to be handled very sensitively in a sensible way. And it's just I trust regulators there a little bit. European Union is a bit ahead of the curve, but it's not going to solve on its own with regulators only. I think that's a real problem. I don't know the answer of, because it has so many layers of privacy risks. It's kind of like hours of the conversation from the experts rather than me.
Yeah, because I'm even very much aware that even some states in the US are already bringing out regulations
Yeah.
to sort of just control how much access to data that some of these AI companies have, and what they can even do with that, with those data and all of that, just to ensure that people's privacy are protected to some extent. I personally do not think they can even do much, because it's still it's just about integrity of some of those companies, and just doing right by people who use their platforms. So are there any specific tools that you want to um, encourage HR leaders to use? AI driven, maybe analytical tools for performance management, and any specific tools that come to mind, Levy? You have any specific
Um,
that you would want to recommend?
yeah, yeah, I think I have. Visier is an amazing tool that Burak mentioned.
DC what?
It is Visier.
Okay.
Visier. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It throws you like a lot of information. I think the process of changing that to knowledge, that is like the human part right now, no? Because
Okay.
you get a lot of insights from there, but you need to use that for something. Um,
Okay.
uh, I think there are some basic tools right now, like Power BI or Tableau, and there are other tools in the backend, like Power Apps from Microsoft, for example, where you can also include now the OpenAI tools, no?
Okay.
And ask questions about your data. So that is also pretty interesting, because you can import things and then start asking questions, like what I mentioned, no? I think the future is you need to learn a lot how to ask the right questions in there to get the insights that you are expecting to have from that data.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Burak, do you have any specific tools?
Yeah,
Or
so
plugins, even if not maybe the specific plugins that could, enhance effectiveness and efficiency.
well, very like very specific to the talent area. You're talking about now all of the HCMs, like human capital management, the big ones like Workday and SuccessFactors, really working on their AI side, right? They only included those AI and a little bit machine learning. It wasn't full on AI on the hiring piece so far. But then going
Okay.
forward, they want to include like a large language model, generative AI in their portfolio, in their products. But they're not very advanced so far. So they're trying. There's a company called ServiceNow that it's very big company that they are moving into the HR area, and they're a lot more AI native. I'm gonna say so. ServiceNow is a good name to watch for, but I think the big player here who's gonna eat everyone's lunch is Microsoft. So Microsoft is already coming with Viva Insights, Microsoft Learning, and everything is connected to Teams. They already track every move that you have, and they're already going to the employee experience platform after they bought Glint. So you're going to see that Microsoft will come with the full-on HR technology stack and with the power of Copilot. And I think that's game over for everyone else. So I think that's like the 2 to 3 years time, Microsoft will be the one to watch out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Thank you so much for that thought, Levy and Burak. Just before I ask my final question, how do you think AI is going to redefine what success looks like in most organizations? So I know that different organizations have their KPIs, their OKR, their measure of success, how they determine what success is on a certain role, maybe as an HR person or as a salesperson. Well, how do you think AI is going to redefine? Do you think it's going to redefine what success is in most organizations?
It's a good question. Levi, you wanna start? It's actually a good question.
It's a great question. Yeah, yeah, and it makes you think a lot of like Black Mirror ideas, no? Like these Netflix series. But yeah, I think at some point we will have a way to interact, like in the same way with these AI tools. No, maybe it will be like an avatar or something, or we can discuss. My strategy is about this. I want your suggestions to continue developing something more robust. But maybe after that, you realize that your idea of the strategy won't make the business go to the place you want. No, so with these discussions with AI, you can find out really, really interesting things. Uh, I've been using that a lot for the last couple of months. Well, I think since November, but the last couple of months asking, please ask me questions about this project that I want to develop because I want to start thinking on ways of maybe searching alternatives on how to resolve issues. And it's so interesting that you get questions that maybe your leaders are asking afterwards, and you already have that answer, no? Because
Absolutely.
you have this question. So it will be really interesting to see that evolving in a way you can discuss with these AIs and get more insights than the one you expected.
Burak, do you want to say
Sure.
anything to that?
Sure, that's a good point. Look, I think what success looks like or the definition of success will change drastically. Like right now, if you look at across many of the jobs, that it just comes down to, are you delivering good stuff on time? Right? And then with AI, let's take developers, right? With Copilot and GitHub Copilot, then you're going to have access to an amazing set of coding and data. But the AI will provide you what they call a vanilla answer, like an average but good answer. Now, the success then looks like, how do you get that raw material from AI and
Yeah.
use your creativity and make it an amazing code? So that's going to be success. It's not like, oh, okay, I have like done like 2000 lines of code and then testing was fine, no problems. That's success maybe today, but
Yeah.
what success will be, that 2000 lines will be given to you by Copilot anyway. So how do you make that an amazing code that almost does more and with 60 lines? So that creativity piece will be the definition of success going forward.
Wow, wow, that's super amazing, and of course you're very right about that. Okay, so on my final question, I would want to know if you could foresee the future of performance management with AI and data analytics. What specific predictions, what bold predictions would you want to make in the future of AI to the HR industry? So I know you already said something around looking out for Microsoft in the nearest future. Burak, you said that.
Yeah.
But are there any other bold predictions that you would want to make as regards AI, data analysis, and the HR industry in general? Are there any things that we as HR leaders should look out for?
Well, a lot. If you allow me, Levi, I think I feel like I'm on a roll here. But anyway, because it's pretty exciting. If you ask me what's going to be a radical possible change in the 5 to 8 years in performance management specifically, would be like probably we will not need any leaders in performance management. You probably want to say like, okay, this AI who has already known our company, training data was accessible for this AI. It's almost like our digital being. It knows what good looks like, what kind of behaviors we want, and what good potential looks like for us. You almost want to say like, okay, dear leader, maybe you want to do something else than performance management. We want our AI do the appraisals, do the coaching, do the career management, and do the enablement. So it's almost like I would take out the leaders out of the performance management, so it becomes very factual, almost very humane, almost like a coach and tutor that just enables everyone. I don't see, if it's a good AI algorithm with a good training data, I don't see the place of leader in performance management.
Wow, wow. That actually makes sense. Levy, do you want to go?
Yeah, pretty interesting view. I think it won't have like many people is with a lot of fear, no? Like these things will replace a lot of jobs and everything. But I think this thing will help us to have jobs that we don't have right now, and this is one of them. No, like uh, I think our or the job that we will have is adjusting these AIs to make it the way the company wants. No, in that sense, those leaders might have other skills at that moment to work with these tools. But I think also they will or we will continue providing these performance suggestions to people uh, for some years. No, I think a
Yeah.
human will still providing these to other humans for a couple of years. I don't know in the future, but maybe for a couple of years we'll continue with that. But yeah, at the same time, I think we will continue developing the other skills to work with these other AI tools.
But human
All
AI
right.
combination is the best, Kimmy. I just want to say like I
Uh-huh.
don't want to take out
Yes.
the whole
Yes.
thing
I was
there.
going to say that AI alone is not good
Yeah,
enough. One
true.
alone is not good enough. It's the combination of both that creates that spark that we actually want.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Thank you so much. It was really an insightful session. In fact, I want to listen to this all over again because I really learned a lot from you both, Levy and Burak, and I really hope that we could we could actually do this again sometime. Maybe another topic.
Happy to.
Maybe it's not performance, but maybe talent acquisition or something else. But I really had a good time, and I know that our audience as well. I've had a great and insightful time. So thank you once again for joining us. Thank you for doing this with us. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Bye.
you.